Hey, Wee Wee, I just noticed something. You know, me and you, we're like Kirk and Khan. We never have met in real person, but we talk using view screens.
I don't even know how you made that relation, because that's about the only thing related to what we're doing right now. We're not blood enemies. One of us is not a genetically enhanced superhuman from 350 years ago, and the other is not a superhuman badass who basically dropkicks everybody in the face.
That's not you?
Well, okay, then I dropkick people in the face, but...
Wait, so does that mean you're Khan?
You, as far as I know, you're not...
What's going on now?
You would be Khan.
I get to be Khan. Sweet. I don't get to shout the Khan quote then.
Yeah, but there's a twist. You're the Khan from Into Darkness.
Oh, that's sweet, because that Khan was great. I love that guy. Screw Ricardo Montalban, or whatever the hell his name was. New Khan was sweet. I mean, come on. My name is Khan.
Hang on, you want to be the Khan from the worst subject film there is?
Worse? Are you saying The Final Frontier?
Dude, you were in Vegas, you voted for it.
No, I didn't. I defended it. I said, it's bad, but it's not as bad as Insurrection in Final Frontier.
People send him hate mail about how the old Khan was a lot better than the new one, please.
No, come on, man. He had a leather trench coat. Leather trench coats are cool.
That's about the only cool thing about the new one, to be honest. And welcome to the Foundry Files number 38.
I'm Admiral Murphy.
I am Wee Wee. And that person over there is Murphy.
I'm Admiral Murphy.
I dropkick him in the face.
I shout Khan.
Because I am awesome. He is not. He has a trench coat, but then he crashes a ship in the middle of a city.
I have blood
in the worst film there is.
Loved ones back to life. But
hi guys.
Oh, hi.
Anyway,
hi. That was weird. What was going on there? I blame you.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I had to put my chair in and I've not my camera on. But
man.
Anyway.
But hey, guess what? It's our 1-year birthday! Well, kinda. I mean, Foundry Files has been out for 2 years, I guess, if you count Stoke. But we're gonna go with 1 year, because this is its own podcast, and it's awesome. So yeah, this comes out a day before our 1-year birthday, so we're celebrating early. But whatever. But so this week's a little different though, because it is our 1-year anniversary. So what's going on, Wee Wee? What's on the plate?
Well, we have a rather long and large discussion about what the Foundry's done.
Yeah, we've shot that already. It's really good.
Yeah, and we've got another review this week as well. I think we do, don't we, Murphy?
Oh, no, because the discussion is so long that we are skipping the review for this week. But stay tuned, because that Federation feature... Yeah, he knew that.
I know that.
Spock and Kirk, or whatever you were acting as before, he always knows what's going on. I'm like, Khan. He doesn't know what's going on. But what we do know what's going on is that Fed feature series is coming out the next week. So we'll be hitting that, along with some other ones thrown in there. There's a few other missions we'll want to hit, especially if you send us Cleon missions. We haven't reviewed one in a while, so send them in, please. But also there will be a little bit of news discussion right before we get into the big discussion on Foundry history and a recap of where we think it's going to be heading. But anyway, 1 year. I want to say thank you to our audience, who still tunes in all the time, especially from the beginning. Because I'll say, it means everything to us. Because really, we do this for you guys, to get you guys missions. So it's always great to hear from you.
It especially means something to me, because I have to put up with that douchebag all the way.
Yeah, I mean, come on, who wants to put up... Wait, what'd you say? What? That wasn't in the contract you signed. You said you would tolerate me. Like, you said right here, and I quote, I would never complain about Admiral Murphy and how he escaped from the insane asylum. In fact, I will not mention it. Oh, okay. Mention it. Oh. Let's go into the news. And welcome to the news. So, what's going on? What's going on right now? Well, I guess we should mention Neverwinter's getting campaigns. Yeah. We want that in Stowe, please. Especially as I make a plea in that discussion as why that should be in Stowe. So I'll let past me but future me for the episode say why we need that in Stowe. But that's at least nice. I'm kind of happy that Neverwinter's getting it. I don't know if ARCs are popular over there because I haven't played over there much.
It's good at least one of the foundries is actually getting that kind of a feature because it means possibly the other will be getting the future as well.
Yeah. So.
At some point.
Hopefully, though, we say that so many times, I get skeptical. I really do.
Yeah, you'll have to just tune into the discussion later on for reasons why we're kind of skeptical. But either way, news this week, it's been kind of sparse, really, isn't it? It's not much really has happened.
It's kind of a continuation of what we were talking about, I want to say 2 episodes ago. That was when we hit H2O Rat's mission. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's about one of the only things we need to talk about, isn't it? It's like the whole debate, we've mentioned it an episode or 2 ago with the part 2 of Rising Phoenix. Should it be done? I personally think it shouldn't.
I didn't either. But so what's going on right now is over on the forums there's been a big discussion about what should happen. Because it seems like a lot of people aren't thinking what we're thinking. They think part 2 should be made. Which I guess I can kind of understand. I mean, as a player, I'm kind of like, ooh, I want to see what happens next. But it depends who writes it. Because, I mean, we both kind of agreed some random Foundry author out there shouldn't really write this. And I heard a very good point the other day. And the point I heard was, I forget if this was from Kirkfat or somebody else, was, why did H2O Rat make this mission in the first place?
I believe the comment in the forums when I think I first started. I think he actually made the forum post about the mission. I thought I replied to something about it, basically saying the reason he made it was primarily to test the Foundry tools of how good they were, how limiting they were at the time.
Exactly. He wanted to see how the Foundry worked. So his challenge was, as a dev who wasn't a content dev, to go in, try the Foundry out, and see if he could make something really good. And did
and look how the mission turned out.
It got number 2 in our ranking chain.
It's a brilliant mission. He probably had a story in mind to try and get up and see how limiting the story would be, and quite frankly, it's a brilliant story.
Yeah. So the thing is, and we're only really mentioning this because it seems like Brandon, which we know you listen to our show, so here's our feedback for you, is he wants to pitch the idea of the next Foundry contest being make part 2 of the Rising Darkness one, and then the best one would become the official part 2. The argument I have heard from a few other Foundry authors on the forums has been, it shouldn't be Foundry authors that take part in this Foundry contest, which now I think it should happen. It should be Cryptic developers that take part in this Foundry contest. Because the goal of H2O Rat there was to try out the Foundry as a dev and see how it worked there, and to possibly encourage other Foundry devs to use the tool, or no, just other developers in general to try the tool out. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm kind of interested in the idea that his fellow employees might pick up the story and take a crack at it.
That actually makes a lot of sense because that was the intention of the mission. But in the eyes of the community, this mission has become a really good story mission, and I emphasize story. Now, the only person who ever knows what the story is going to turn out like is unfortunately the author of this mission. So there won't be a part 2. There shouldn't be a part 2 as far as I'm concerned, simply because, well, it's not going to be by the author. He probably doesn't intend for that direction, and even if he does, it's just not right. So, I think it should be left on a cliffhanger.
To play devil's advocate here, when Gene Roddenberry died, Star Trek kept going. Now, I think I played I don't know if we.
There's a difference. There's a difference. He died in the middle of the series.
They did make Deep Space Nine though afterwards.
He made part 1, and he didn't make part 2. He was probably planning it at some point during the month or something, but he never made it. So
now, if he has like notes and stuff though lying around or something, or he talked to his fellow employees about what he was planning.
I'm hoping he'll have notes, yeah. Because if he has notes, then maybe that mission could be done. But I honestly wouldn't want the mission to be done any other way. If there was notes there, I could accept it, but it should be by the author. If a part 2 is going to be made, it should be by the same person.
Now, if this contest has to happen, do you think it should be players who make it, or the developers. If it had to happen.
That's a matter of opinion, and the developers I'm not sure about the players. I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about anybody. But if I had to name one person, it would be a person I know can do a cracking job for a story and take that into a new level. And that could be, to be honest, anyone. It could be one of the developers. It could be one of the players.
Do you think a way to go about it would be an inspired story from this part 1? Like, it's not the direct continuation, but maybe it's inspired by, or something like that, where it's sort of similar, but it's its own thing.
The way the story was progressing, it would have to be a direct continuation. Because the way you ended the mission was going through the Transloop Conduit. You need to know where you ended up.
What if you did an inspired part 1 and went on? I'm just trying to throw ideas out here. I don't know if they'd work in what.
Well, I don't know. It could go anywhere. Part 2 shouldn't just be about. Look at me, I'm suggesting ideas now. Part 2 shouldn't just be about defeating the bad guy, the bad person. It should be about something new. The mission. Every part has to have its own little storyline within the story arc. And now part 2 has to be the same thing. So it shouldn't be just about defeating the bad guy. Something has to happen in between.
More reveals and such. Cause
maybe like somebody turns out to be an Undine or something.
That was the thing that was really great about part 1, was there were great reveals in the mission as you went along. Like you discover some new things as things got solved. So if part 2 were to continue that, that'd be cool. But it still seems like we're like, yeah, if a part 2 has to be made, okay. But
now the only way part 2 could be made is if somebody completely, basically, I wouldn't say disassembled, it's not the right word. It would be like dissected the entire part 1 mission, picked out every single nook and cranny of both technical side, the gameplay side, and the story side of every bit of dialogue, and then made any references that seem to couple together slightly, and make that into a part 2, and follow from there. That's the way I could see it doing, because that would mean H4 developed in part 1 with the intention of part 2 on the follow-up. But if I recall, I think he mentioned at one point he'd probably make a part 2, but he had no idea where it was going to go. So the chances are, even if he's made the mission, he probably hadn't thought about it. So if that's the case, it could go anywhere. All these ideas are basically throwing like it's like alternate realities. It's like parallels when wafted it. It's a million different directions, an infinite amount of directions to go in. But there's only one direction. There's only one place I would like to go in, and that's by the person who offered it.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. We've discussed this enough, so I think we'll see where this goes over the next couple of weeks. But why don't we roll into our Foundry discussion?
Yeah, let's get into it. Think about shall we?
Grab some popcorn, guys, because boy, are we about to get really in depth with the Foundry.
And on to the discussion of 1 year. Well, you want to start us off, Murphy, because there's quite a bit to talk about. I'm not even sure where to start. I'm contemplating where we should start. Well, let's start right at the beginning.
Yeah, because we've got probably new people who weren't around before free-to-play launch, so I think it's good to hit that first so people know. Because it's surprising. You hear a lot of people who came in after the free-to-play launch. They don't know anything about Stoke beforehand. Which the Foundry came out shortly before free-to-play launch, so why don't we hit it? How did it launch?
It wasn't shortly; it was about a year beforehand. Before free-to-play, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, it came out in March. Free-to-play was in the next January, so yeah, about a year. But so how did the launch go? Do you think I felt it went pretty well actually. Foundry launch.
The launch was actually pretty good. I was one of the few people on Tribble that did a mission. And produced, I think it was 3 missions to initially start off with, which I converted over the whole I can set up today.
I think I only converted 1 probably, like I did 3 as well.
Yeah, you just did the 1, didn't you? But there was quite a few people who
I did 1 that got really popular, and then 2 other ones.
And back then, the Foundry was extremely sparse of what it's compared to today. There wasn't as many features. We didn't have all that kind of thing. The only thing we could tell on the 2D overlay was where objects was just a green outline. The green outline you have. We didn't have any of that sort of like over object views. That didn't come until, what was it, season 4, I think it was?
Well, go back there for a second. You said the Foundry was sparse. Should we name some of the things that are in the Foundry today that weren't there at launch that were like huge? Because it seems like...
Where should we start?
I know, that's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to think. We didn't have pathing.
Well, like I said, we'll name the things as we go along. But it was about, I want to say March 28th, I believe it was the exact date. 27th, 28th was the exact date the Foundry went on. It was like a Wednesday or something.
Yeah, because I got home right away from
on.
school and
Yeah.
built Deep Space 11 all the way to like 10
Yeah,
at
and
night.
then the Foundries just exploded immediately. Within 3 hours, there were 12 missions.
I think To Hell None Back was another one that was up there pretty quickly, stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember the exact number there because my mission was one of them.
Nice.
How
long did it take you to get your mission
I managed
up?
to quickly convert it over because I had all the dialogue boxes and all that kind of stuff, and I would imagine some other people as well.
Did it
But
not
generally,
take
to start
long
off with,
to get your mission up?
well, the initial triple push was actually different to the one in the initial holodeck one because they did another. I'd almost call it a major update. They converted it from 0.3 beta to 0.5 beta in, I want to say, it was either January or February, where they added a few more features. I can't remember what they were. It might have been like the extra dialogue tab. I think it was one of them. And I think maybe a few component completes as well. I think that's when the triggers came in.
I think
but
so, yeah.
yeah, I can't remember. But either way, the holodeck was pretty successful. Treble was really successful, and it was all playing well and good. It was a good content gap after the Romulan
That's
series.
what was key to the Foundry's success, was definitely there was a content drought during that time period. So where did everybody go? The Foundry, because missions were really getting out there. Like, people were making trailers and crap, and that was great. Starbase UGC was pretty flourishing. Podcast UGC was doing pretty well too, because that's when
it was going down.
Foundry was... That's the golden age of the Foundry right there.
A few Foundry recommendations on other podcasts, like Stoked, I think Priority One did a few as well. Even D-Star mentioned Rise of Darkness in Engineering Report one
Hell,
time.
that blew up on Triple.
So the Foundry was getting a bit of attention, and then Season 4 happened.
Yeah, most Foundry authors cringe when they hear Season 4 reference at all. It doesn't have to be about Foundry. You just say Season 4 and Foundry authors go.
Well, I put it this way, to know the full story, you simply had to be there. But to sum it up, basically, it was a disaster, the Foundry. When Season 4 hit, the Foundry was so broken that they disabled it. And something which they learned from today, that they forgot, or they didn't, unpublish every mission.
Yeah, that was the problem. When you think of they disabled the Foundry today, you go, oh, they pull all the missions down, reviews are turned off. No, this did not happen back then.
Season 4 was the reason they did this now. That was the reason. They learned from that. And it was a good thing too, because what it was a full 2 months with maybe 1 or 2 weeks in between where it was online, brief period, where it was broken to hell. You couldn't do anything, nothing worked, triggers were broken, all the stuff was just non-functional. You couldn't do anything at all.
It was funny because remember, we did our first episode on Stoked the week before Season 4 hit, and we were so pumped to review missions, and then afterwards, just week by week, us waiting to get another review out. And we got so hopeful one week, because they brought it back up, and it was still broken, or something like that.
Yeah, they immediately put it down the next week, so it was a disaster. And for the next 6 months, most of the features were fixed by early September.
Yeah.
But still, about a quarter of the features were still broken, including the component completes. I remember that was broken because I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, this is the question I have, and I want to pose it to our audience too, to think about it. Has the tool ever recovered since Season 4? And the way I'm spinning this is, I think the Foundry reputation really got hurt with Season 4 because not only did they lock off the Foundry to all authors, like, you had a really quick chance to pull your missions down, which I was lucky I did. But one of the major problems was, like, Borderkiss, his mission, Fungus Among Us, or something like that, was up the whole time during that month. And reviews were still turned on for that month.
12 or something?
His mission was broken.
12
you could not finish
that was saying this mission's broken and he couldn't do anything about it.
I think he got to 72 1-stars. Like, it was pretty bad. Like,
it was really bad.
And you think about it, all those missions at the very top of the top right that were really spot on, good quality missions were never pulled. Reviews were still up. And people who don't know any better went to go play them and went, oh, Foundry's crap, it's broke.
Well,
and I think
one of the more infamous examples, especially from this was actually Spirits of Remic Nor. One of the very first mission we reviewed. That was a victim of Season 4. They got a whole bunch of 1-stars. I happen to have been one of the lucky ones who actually didn't get affected by this in any of the circumstances. But mine was a very, very, extremely rare case where there wasn't anything broken in it. Basically, every other mission, including Murphy's, yours was broken as well.
No, I pulled mine down. Mine were pulled down.
You pulled yours down
an hour before we knew they were getting pulled, and I just went quick.
Yeah.
Pulled.
Basically every other mission was broken. but they fixed it by early September, and basically nothing was really done, I want to say, for quite some time. I don't think there was anything in Season 5, was there? I don't think there was any Foundry updates in Season 5.
There might have been very little.
There might have been 1 or 2 fixes or something. They eventually fixed Component Complete by early 2012 when Free-to-Play launched, and nothing really happened too much around. And things started getting picked up a bit in Free-to-Play because things were progressing a lot more with Free-to-Play and all that kind of stuff. And, well...
Do you think the Foundry really took off, though, with free-to-play launch? Because if you look at it right now, Foundry is not really spotlighted in-game that much. So let's assume most free-to-play players never go to the website and never listen to any podcasts. Because, like, for Neverwinter, do we go to the Neverwinter website? Not really. I don't know if you do.
Really?
I've never gone to the Neverwinter website.
I play Neverwinter all day to do the level 60 dailies. I never visit the website.
Yeah, so we're just majorly in the game there, so we only learn about things through the game. We're not listening to podcasts and stuff. So let's assume most of the free-to-play players for Stowe did exactly that. They just played the game. How do you find out about Foundry today? You go to the Foundry tab. It was basically the same thing back then, but I think it might have been a little worse. I don't know when they updated it, so like you had the little Foundry box on the main screen. I don't know if
that was the free to play update for season 5. When they did it in early December, the season 5, that was the preparation season for free to play in January. That's when they revitalized that whole UI bit. They revitalized the ship selection, which is awesome, by the way. And
that was sweet.
That was when they did the whole thing. Now, during this period of time, it was about a month or 2 after it actually launched in March earlier that year, when the Foundry Daily came in. Now, the Foundry Daily back then was... Dilithium wasn't available then, because that was before Dilithium came in. And I think, what was it? It was 3 emblems, I want to say? Three emblems that all currency. It's just a bunch of emblems. Endgame currency for buying endgame stuff. And people started using mini clicky dailies. The stuff that we know that is the stuff that we probably most, even the free to players will know about and all remember. That was when they started coming in, and that continued all the way around to season 7. Now, from season 5 to season 7, there were a few updates, including probably one of my favourite ones is costume imports and dialogue titles. Those some good updates. Was it season 7? Was it season 7 or was it season Legacy of Romulus where they put in the NPC contact removals, where you could remove them finally?
I think it was even before season 7. I want to say we've had that longer than season 7.
I think it might have been season 7 actually, but at that point, they finally put in a feature that they stated it was exploited, but a bunch of us weren't quite sure about that, but they finally put it in, a long time requested feature where you could remove NPC contacts.
Oh my god, thank you.
So, what few updates there were during that year, from the period from season 5 and free-to-play launch to season 7, there were some major steps that people, long-time requests, like the ones I just stated.
Yeah,
so
even if it wasn't as many as we wanted, we still got a little bit of progress there, which was nice.
Yeah. And then, from season 7 to Legacy of Romulus, there was
a major slowdown in Foundry plays.
Yeah.
It started that winter, I believe, because I noticed
it was season 7 where they fixed the exploit of the quickie dailies. That's when they converted to the 1 mission.
And that got exploited. Let's talk about that real quick. I think that's what really hurt Foundry plays, because I noticed for mine, they were doing pretty well. I'd get a few plays a week, and a few dilithium tips would trickle in. Then I noticed they stopped suddenly in that winter. And I looked at my plays. I probably got 1 a week on a variety of them, not all of them. And it's pretty much remained the same there. But what was this dilithium exploit, really?
Well, in season 7, what they did was convert it from 3 playable missions, where you could do clicky dailies, to 1 playable mission, and basically categorize every Foundry mission there is into... I think it was that point where they categorized it into different, like, this mission qualifies for this reward. And you could it was a repeatable mission that you could do every half an hour. And then for some reason later on they changed it as well. I think because even that was exploited to get the lithium every time you played the mission. The daily was completely removed altogether. Then the bad stuff started. where you could do the 40 missions in one go and get probably the most amount of dilithium you could ever get in a
It
lifetime.
was ridiculous. I think we tried it out like once or something to see what the heck was going on. Crazy. Like, it was bad.
That was absolutely. I mean, yeah, you could go to Jazana and Deep Space Nine and Space Dock, and you would see a whole bunch of players. I mean, a serious bunch of players in like at least 3 different instances doing the same thing.
It was so bad.
I mean,
Gecko was threatening to ban people from the game for doing it. I don't know if that ever happened.
That thing was up for a week at least. I remember.
Word of this spread really quick, and Cryptic, I don't know what they did. They fixed the exploit. I don't know if they banned anybody ever, but they were threatening.
They banned the people who actually made those 40.
It makes sense if they made them, because I think we did talk about this on the show. I think where it was like these missions were up, and they were threatening, oh, anybody who's playing these is going to get banned. But we were like, everybody's doing it. They can't play on the entire.
Yeah, they didn't exactly carry that out. They actually sort of went a different step. They banned the people who actually made them, because if you ban the people who played them, it will be half the people in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because unfortunately that was the situation. And then I think they fixed it more, where you could only do it every hour or something, which is the current state of the daily. Right now, you could only do a certain amount of daily apart from spotlights every hour. So that got fixed.
So I think you can debate whether we ever recovered from season 4. I could hear arguments for both sides, but I really don't think we've recovered ever from this, because if you look at Foundry plays, they've never gone back up since that event. Because they've gone down.
The Foundry started off really well after in those 3 months before, 3 or 4 months before season 4. I mean, it really
people
started.
Were talking the tool up,
attention.
and then the attitude
people weren't
changed.
playing it as much. People weren't playing it as much because it was kind of a new thing. They weren't even sure. They were like, this seems all right. Even Detail mentioned the mission, a few of the podcasts, a few recommendations, all that kind of stuff. It started picking up, and then the season 4 fiasco happened, and since then, at least one thing's been broken at least every month.
Yeah. There's always been something major that Foundry authors have had to deal with, or even players. That's the worst part, is you don't want players to have to deal with the Foundry bugs, or else they're going to go, oh, this is just a broken thing. Bye.
It's an unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in. The major sort of code mergers I think we are in, like season 4, season 6. I think Legacy Romulus as well.
Yeah, Legacy Romulus hurt the Foundry too.
Those don't exactly help. Season 4 was the beginning. That really set the stone. It's like we really have to do this. I think it was when in Stoked 100, they specifically said, we're going to do these measures to make sure this never happens again. And they did. They did that in season 5, and they've done it every season since then that needed it. Legacy Romulus was it was halfway there. It was
I was about to bring that up. It was Legacy Romulus was kind of bad, but at least missions weren't up for a month where people were playing the review.
Yeah.
That wasn't there. I think they were up, and the reviews were on for a week, but then they caught it.
Yeah, they caught it. And I think after every season since then, season 5, season 6, season 7, I think Legacy Romulus as well, they've disabled reviews for some time, even after the Foundry's been re-enabled. And when it's been disabled as well, to prevent people from doing that. So you will no longer receive those 1 stars, and unless they forget, you won't receive 1 stars in your missions if it's during downtime, if it's still up.
Yeah, now the only problem I think, now that I thought about Legacy Romulus, was while during that 1 month period where missions were turned off and stuff, we didn't really have as many issues except for that 1 week where reviews were left on. But afterwards, we even discussed this on the show. We came back on air when we were like, oh, Foundry's back up. But the editing tool was laggy. You couldn't make anything anymore. Yeah, I don't know how.
You have to get in.
I don't even remember if all the bugs were fixed.
That is assuming you could get in. I never could in those few weeks after following the Foundry, because I was preparing a few missions beforehand, and I couldn't get in for at least 2 or 3 weeks after that, because it was like major lagging bugs. I could never get into it. I got server disconnected as soon as I got into the Foundry, that kind of stuff, and it eventually fixed it.
I was so depressed too.
More lag than in the maps, which was then fixed about a month ago or something, and here we are.
Yeah. But you've been back in the Foundry editing now recently, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's working now, because I haven't. After that whole buggy bug thing, where I was like, oh, I'm going to make some missions, it's been like a year, but I'm pumped, I'll make some, and then, and I haven't been back in since Legacy Romulus. I mean, I've messed around with maybe a map or something, but I was just like...
There are a lot of major features which people have been requesting since the Foundry launch, which haven't been imported yet. The main ones that, for me, that should have been imported are there. Mm-hmm. Granted, one of them was taken out again, but the despawning of NPC contacts, absolute major one that was absolutely key in some missions, that was an absolute necessary part.
Think of how many
If there was
missions would be
any one
broken
thing
today without
in
that.
Foundry which needed to be in, it was that. And they put it in.
Like, it's ridiculous to think of how many missions we reviewed recently where you can't imagine it working without that. It's just weird.
In fact, at the beginning of the Foundry, I actually made my missions around the fact that that feature wasn't in yet.
Yeah, same. We had so many workarounds to do
So
that.
it's like, well, if you did that, then that's fine. But they finally put it in after 2 years, and well, yeah, here we are. Now, some of my personal Foundry features include things Dreadnought groups, which would be nice.
Oh, yeah,
There's
you
a
mentioned
scimitar.
that we were discussing this, and I was like backing you up on it. That'd be sweet. I want to fight a scimitar battle.
Need that. There are a few others that I want to say as well. 3D editing from Neverwinter would be nice, but that's not a huge priority because that would take a lot of update. To be honest with the Foundry, importing the costumes would be really nice as well because apparently that was broken. There was a few others as well. I can't remember what they were now, but there are some major features. Romulan missions we've already discussed a couple of weeks ago, but
you know, the other one I wanted was the more fleshed out character creator. Haven't still seen. I want my Jupiter jackets. I love that uniform.
That's true. There's only about half of, if not less, of the costumes you can have, and the options you can have in the actual costume editor aren't there. You can't import a character with a Jupiter jacket because it's not in the Foundry. It would simply default to like
it or something. Oh,
Antares
yeah.
or something.
Because I think I tried that just to see if it broke it or what, and then that happened.
I mean, even creating a Romulan character which has been enabled now, you can't even put the Tal Shiar costume on from the mission. It's not really, it's not entirely fleshed out, that costume creator. It's a lot better than what it was because at the start you had little short Murphy. You couldn't do it. You couldn't use.
Oh my god, I remember that. I just forgot. That was another key thing I was missing for the character creator guys. If you weren't here at the launch on Tribble, I don't even think on holodeck this happened for a bit. But you did not have any height sliders or anything like that. So basically, everybody was like 4'5" or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. This actually didn't get imported into, ironically, Season 4, along with a couple of other features. And for those 3 or 4 months before Season 4, you had little short characters.
That's funny. I'd love to go back and see videos of that. Because I remember the major joke was, look at Midget Murphy, it's so funny. And I'd be cringing.
I remember you saying once, it's like, when you found out that they were going to put that feature in Season 4, like, yes, no more short Murphy. No more.
I was pumped. There were 2 points between the launch of the Foundry now that I got really pumped. No more short Murphy, and then when I got Foundry slots so I could make the rest of my series and stuff. Those were 2 points where I got really happy.
That was another major one we forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Purchasing additional Foundry slots. Initially, everybody started with 8, but then they changed it in free-to-play, I think it was Season 5, where you started off with 8 if you're a subscriber, but you could purchase some if you were free-to-play or a subscriber up to a maximum of 40. Murphy here has obviously pretty much done them all.
I have all 40. I got it day one.
That's a good investment. There is a lot of mission slots there, and unless you're somebody like Murphy who has basically too much time in his hands,
don't have that time anymore.
Well, basically, you're fine. You're set for a good number of missions.
Yeah.
I've only used about 12, I think.
You know, one more thing I want to mention before we kind of get into the state of the Foundry today and what the attitude of Foundry authors and the players are, is an interesting point I heard was it wasn't a while ago where they added the Horda. It was like a couple of months ago where the Horda got added to the Foundry.
That was and that was in the Romulan feature episode series before the Foundry was launched.
That's how long it took guys to get stuff like that. So if you think about it, there's tons of art assets still missing. It's been that long, and you think back to how the Foundry was doing when it launched. There was quite a little progress going.
Yeah,
I get.
And
should we mention the Neverwinter team?
only added the Parda and Colosseum in Legacy Romulus from the Foundry feature episode series, which was around before the Foundry was launched again. So there's been quite a few times where it's been a heck of a delay. We still don't have facility for 4028. I don't think either.
I think we do have the map.
Do we?
I think we do, because I remember going into it and the doors aren't there, and the cool consoles that slid. Yeah, we do have it, because I've checked it out. They don't have the consoles that slide when you walk up to them, or the doors.
Actually, yeah, you're right about that, and now I'm thinking about it, but they don't have the force field. They don't have the force field floors, do they? So it's kind of a bad thing. It's like, you expect to open a custom door, that's a trigger,
Nobody's
you fall down
used
to
the map, that's
about
why.
1,000 feet.
I don't think anybody's used the map, at least that we've played. If you've used the map, let us know in the comments. I want to know. But, alright, Foundry State today. First of all, I think we have to mention this. We didn't mention this at all. One of the major reasons the history has happened for the Foundry like it has, I think, is the majority of the Foundry team, in fact all of it, got transferred to Neverwinter. We have to mention that.
Yeah, that was the reason. And the only reason that happened is because of the way Neverwinter is. It's a D&D game. The entire point of a D&D game is your own adventures, and that would make sense with the Foundry.
Yeah.
So therefore, that had to happen.
So let's compare the state of the Foundry for Stowe right now and Neverwinter, because I think you can't really not talk about Neverwinter's Foundry in that state, because
No, we can't.
all right, so we've been playing Neverwinter recently. We haven't been in the Foundry as much. We probably should, just to see what's going on over there. But
I've had a brief look around with it, but oh my god, when I got in there were so many different options. For example, one of the main things besides 3D editing and in-map editing as well was the costume creator. You can put any character species with any different costume. I could put some random thing together, just like a bunch of different parts of costumes and random costumes. It looked like a really weird thing, but you can do it. Here we really can't.
So here's a question I have for you, Wee Wee. As somebody who hasn't messed with the Neverwinter Foundry, I've talked with people like Haverhigh, I believe, who have messed around with it, and they say Stowe's character creator, surprisingly, it seems is better than the Neverwinter one, because the Neverwinter one is lacking the... You can create your NPC from scratch, whereas Neverwinter, it's you take a pre-made NPC and then you just kind of mix it up.
Yeah. That's the difference. In Neverwinter, you don't have the do it from scratch like you do in Stowe. So there is a lot more customization on our side. But at the same time, you can't put a Starfleet officer in a Klingon uniform. You can't put a human in a Klingon uniform or a Romulan uniform in here unless you go to an alien and try and make a human itself. You can't do that.
Yep.
And because Neverwinter doesn't have any faction, it's not a faction game. It's just all one thing. You can put it in any costume. So it's a reverse. Which ones do you think's better, or which one do you think's neither? Whatever. It depends on your opinion. What is really on that side of things.
So I think the key to Neverwinter's Foundry, because I'm gonna go out and say I think Neverwinter's Foundry's been successful, because if you look at it, when our Foundry goes down, you get a little bit of rage, but honestly, it's not like people are flipping out. I heard for Neverwinter, people raged on their forums. Even the players are just like, I can't play Foundry missions anymore, and they were forced to get that back up over a weekend, whereas the Stowe one was down for a month. There's a big difference here, and the reason I think Neverwinter's Foundry has been really successful is look how easy it is to stumble into a Foundry mission in Neverwinter. What are the different ways you can run into a Foundry mission here, really? Because there's so many.
Well, you've still got the same basic thing. You could still do pre-made maps and talk to different pre-made contacts that are on social zones, but you can attach it to basically anywhere there is on Foundry. You can attach it to a door in one of the early zones. You can attach it to another door in somewhere else. You could attach it to a branch or something. I don't know. There are just some completely random places you could attach the mission to. So it's actually quite fun on that side. But yeah.
And it's cool to stumble into a mission randomly by those bards, the campfires, and stuff like that. That stuff is really nice.
Yeah, the difference in Neverwinter is that because it's a major part of the game, they put these little billboards that basically saying, well, here's a bunch of Foundry missions. I think that's in this area, so go ahead. They've categorized it in areas. They've got tabs. They've got tags there as well. All this kind of stuff. They've got subscribe to an author. They've got campaign things. They've got map.
Isn't that new? Tabs. The campaign things is new. That was just announced.
Yes, that's one of the new things. You can categorize a few different missions in campaign. I was
Thank you.
As soon as I got the Foundry, it was like, well, I can do this, and it's like, it's in Neverwinter though.
I know.
I want it in Stowe, please.
As the author of 7 different series, Cryptic. But
that would be useful for you.
But so the difference here, I guess, is Neverwinter's Foundry is up in front. They are advertising it just by you walking around and going, "Oh, look, a Foundry mission." Difference with Stowe is it's back in the corner, kind of sitting off on its own. And if you go over to say hi, you might find a good mission.
They may get a scrap of food every once in a while or something.
Or you'll just find these crummy exploit missions that you can just kind of go.
Yeah, there's a bunch of exploits in Stowe, but in Neverwinter, as soon as an exploit comes up, it's immediately destroyed.
They freaking slammed the banhammer too.
There's a lot of Foundry devs over there, and I mean, there was another similar sort of dilithium thing before where you could kill like 40 trolls.
Wasn't that during beta too?
One thing.
They had a major exploit, I think. In the
no,
beta.
it was actually after launch. It was about a week after launch, a month after launch, where I think I discovered that as well. People were doing it,
and they crushed it. It was like,
and they immediately crushed it. Yeah, because people would get leveling up at least 3 levels, at least 8 levels, something with one mission, just by killing so much stuff in one place. So, but they destroyed that really quickly and banned anyone who made the mission again.
Why didn't we get that instead? I want
And then
that.
I think they actually took away. I can't remember exactly what happened. And they might have taken away a few rewards or something.
But so what we asked this a few weeks ago of what Foundry authors were feeling like. At the time, it seemed like authors were still pretty optimistic, and I was kind of too. I was starting to question it. So I'll state what I feel about the Foundry right now, then I'll let you go, Louie. But I'll be honest right now. My Foundry spirit is like, for as an author at least, is like. As a player, when we can find a good mission, they're like H2O Rats mission. That got me pumped. That was so great. Great mission there. But when you can find it, like I went over because we wanted to review a Cleon episode. You can't find one. You really can't, especially on the Cleon side. It's all exploits. So as an author right now, we discussed this in Vegas. I was at the convention with Terry Lynn and Ceridium, and we were having a nice discussion at the GNT booth, where at the time it was just like there's no real reason to get into Foundry authoring. Like the state of Foundry authoring was pretty bad, and it still kind of is, especially as when you post a mission right now, extremely hard to find. Like I hear people still complaining they can't get out of that review process where you need the 5 people or the 20 or whatever it is. And so it's interesting because you finished a mission yet, but it's not ready for publishing. But because you have me tested.
It's only the first mission of the series as well. It is only the 3rd series I've done. I've got a whole plan of at least 20 missions in this giant story arc. I've only done 2 series since the Foundry's launched.
Mm-hmm.
I started the first series when it was in triple, and I still haven't finished it.
I'd be interested to see how that does when it comes out, but because I as an author I go, I want to make these missions because they'd be great, but are they going to get noticed? Because in the past you got pretty decent plays, especially if you're advertised on websites, trailers, and stuff like that. You could get it out there, and then when you got it on a podcast, it's a boom. Now it's just like you have to kind of either hear it from word of mouth or other podcasts. So as a player, I start to get really skeptical of how the Foundry's going to be in a year, because we haven't really had any Foundry updates recently, and we haven't been hearing anything. A few weeks ago I was optimistic that we'd hear about some sort of Foundry update early next year, though I'm on the fence now. I don't know what to expect for Foundry next year. It's really hard for me to predict.
Your energy's not pumped up for it. You're not really sort of like, oh, I'm really excited about this. Sort of like, oh, okay, Foundry.
So it's kind of just like there. What do you think, before we make our predictions for what will be next year? What's your current feeling as an author and as a player for Foundry, Stowe Foundry?
Well, I will admit I don't really play Foundry missions that often, and there's probably it's almost along the same lines as what you've already said, Murphy. It's just like, well, there's no reason to play it unless you go and find one, and I have no time to go and find one. It's just like I can't be bothered to search through a mission, like a list of like 1 billion different missions to find a good one.
Especially when it's all exploits, or you don't know whether it is or not.
And it's like, well, I'll concentrate on doing my own, and even that's a bit weird. I mean, it took me a few months from about Triple to about a month after season 4. It launched in holodeck. It Foundry to do the first series. Then in February the next year, I started my Klingon series.
Is that when you got more slots?
September. Didn't finish it until I didn't finish it until September. So it took me at least 6 to 8 months to try and finish the Klingon series. And now I'm just starting on a new series, which I should basically have done a long time ago. So the interest levels for me have been a bit. I wish I've had. There are times where I say I wish I would have interest in this because I really want to do it, but I'm just not with it. Mm-hmm. I'd rather kill a few feds in PvP or something. So, yeah. Yeah,
so I'm hoping that we can just get some updates. Let's see. Predictions for next year. You got any? What are you thinking? If we get to year 2 for Foundry Files, what do you think the state of the Foundry is going to be like?
It's more of a hope rather than a prediction. It's more of a hope of saying, I wish to put the import costumes back in.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one to get back in.
I want that back in. It's really. I actually filled up my entire costume line on that first mission, to try and get all my costumes in there that I think that I would need for my series. And yeah, that's you can fit at least 20, 30 costumes in there, and I filled them all.
Damn, you got a lot of costumes.
Yeah, I got a lot of characters, and in a series like mine, you probably need them, and that's why I think it should be in, because you can never get it exact. like it is.
All right, here's my prediction on the table right now. I'm going to say by next year there will be no major Foundry update. I don't think we're going to get one.
A few minor ones.
I think it's going to still stick to a few minor ones. The Foundry team for Stowe is non-existent. I don't think they even have a dev working on it. I think they got one dude to fix a few bugs. That's it. So I don't see a major Foundry update happening unless they suddenly pull the Neverwinter team back to Stowe, which I don't see happening. Neverwinter is so successful right now, they won't do that. So I don't think we're going to get in season 8 or 9, we're going to have this huge Foundry update to go along with everything. Though that's what I want. I want that for Foundry, PvP, crafting. None of them are getting it. Now, minor updates might trickle in like we have gotten. I'm skeptical if any will. I don't think I'm going to say for season 8, right? Yeah.
Season 8 is the one in November.
I'm going to say no Foundry updates.
I don't know. I honestly couldn't make a prediction about that. Season 8 is it's about more stories and it's about more story content. We know season 9, at least on the cards, is about the Undine.
Is it?
And I'm actually looking forward to that. Yeah, we
Where's
know
this
the
info?
plan.
I'm just hearing this.
2/Undine thing, revamp of Terradome, a few more Undine progressions, that kind of thing. We know that's coming. But
after the show, you were showing me where you heard this. I want to know. I have not heard this at all yet.
Vegas.
They said stuff.
I think they said it in Vegas.
I don't know if they said anything about Undine in Vegas. Then again, I was getting my picture taken with the nice
They might have said it in Vegas. I thought they might have said
it. I think I heard the Voth part. I came back in for the Voth.
Or it might have been in the interview in between. But either way.
I love an Undine thing because one of my major complaints has been what happened with the Undine. They were infiltrating us, and then we just found out.
Anyway, like I said. Foundry features, I'm not even sure about.
I'm not sure what features are.
If something comes, then great. If nothing comes, well, I'll just do everything else that they throw in my face.
If we do get a Foundry update, I'm gonna say summer next year. Minor ones summer next year. I don't think we're gonna get any before season 9 even. I'm not very hopeful for updates right now, and the thing is, Cryptic isn't talking to us much about Foundry. Heck, they've done several patches to the Foundry that haven't been in the patch notes at all, and people find them and they're just like, "Hey, there's a new thing in the they put it in the patch notes." And it's like, even when they do add us new stuff, we don't get to know about it.
It's renaming squirrels to echoes.
That one was one of my favorite updates you guys done in a while, so I'm giving a thumbs up on that.
But yeah, anyway, we're kind of skeptical for the future. We don't know what's coming. If something comes, then great. If nothing comes, well, oh well.
The one thing that won't change though is there are a lot of great missions still out there just to be found because there is a lot.
That's
of
the one thing I would change.
That's what keeps the show going.
Them. So good luck in finding them.
Yeah. So to keep this show going, we need to find great missions out there, guys. And I'll be honest, when we went to look for a Cleon one, Cleon missions were not hopeful. I don't know when we'll get a Cleon review.
I want to see you guys producing good Klingon missions and sending them in because I'm a Klingon player.
Same with Fed still, same with Romulus.
Hardly reviewed Klingon missions in the entire span of the show. It's only been about 20% of our reviews, 20-30% of it, and it should be more.
Yeah.
But it can't be because, well, there's so much stuff nowadays.
Yep. So if you've got a mission, send it in to foundryfiles@gmail.com or hit us on Twitter. Our Twitter will be in the credits. And let us know what your mission is, because we're going to have a hard time finding missions coming up if nobody sends them in. So send them in. You might get it out there, and you might get some more plays, and more dilithium tips. I like dilithium. Do you like dilithium, wee-wee?
I do now that the CE's back.
Yeah, so hey, you can get some extra tips to go along with your CE runs that we've done already. But anyway. Send us emails too. Leave comments what you think of how the state of the Foundry's been and your predictions. I'll probably start with thread on the Stowe forums to see what people are predicting for the Foundry next year. Because I'd be interested to hear what other people are saying. Because I know we're a little less on the optimistic side. I think the Foundry Roundtable guys are pretty optimistic when it comes to this stuff. So I'd be interested to hear what they would have to say. Because they usually comment on what we ask. But anyway, I think that's it for our Foundry discussion this week. So hey, next week we're getting that series started up, the featured series, the feature Fed series. I can't say featured up series.
The Fed series.
I can't get Wee up in arms. We actually got some replies.
If you want to understand that, but
yeah, that's gonna be starting up. So that'll be cool.
1 year from now, let's see what happens, Joey.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Do you got a TARDIS Well, if you got the TARDIS, we can just go right now and check out. And it'll be sweet.
I've got a TARDIS here.
Here we go. Let's. I'll be right over, and we'll climb in. We'll just...
I think it's actually mirrored on my screen. But...
Did you get that out of the lockbox, like my bug ship?
Yes.
Oh, cool. All right, I'll be right over.
Temporal lockbox.
So we'll catch you guys next week. Bye. Podcast idea. Tell me about it. All right, here we go. What's the one thing this game has tons of, and people are always excited about? Lockboxes. So I recommend we start up an entirely devoted to the Lockbox podcast. So we talk about the different lockboxes that come out, your chances of getting all the items in it, the Lobby store economy and how awesome that is, and getting like all the different items, your chances of getting all that stuff, the time ship, how cool that is, because we all know the temporal lockbox was really cool. I mean, come on, everybody. Wee wee. I think you like that idea. He's probably going to get some like cool lockbox gizmo, and or maybe not. So what is it? That's totally going in the shower. Oh, okay. Cut that out, but move it to the bloopers. All right. Serious face.
I hate you.
All right. Ready? You ready? Chew your food. Let's go. So wee wee.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Actual take. So wee wee, what does the opposite end of like the Grail of Kalis mean? Does he explain that at all?
Well, what it means is there are several prophecies. I'm stalling it.
What?
That's the rest of my arm. I've still got it in my hand. Hang on. Let me finish it this time.
What is it? I can't see what it is. Is that a cracker or a carrot?
It's a carrot.
Okay, I can't make it out. Why did he hand you a carrot? Are you trying to be healthy?
Every time we have dinner, my dad just pinches a carrot out of the pan and gives it to me because I'm hungry. It's quite fun, actually.
I hate carrots. I actually hate vegetables, but that's because I'm weird. Oh, Mav. The most prolific fleet leader in the game. He has his own podcast. It's called Stoked.
Wait, what? Stoked was cancelled.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know. That's why we're doing the show. But no, it's called Stoked Radio. You know, it's the audio-only version of Stoked Wee Wee. Oh, I fixed it. Dude. Wee wee. Dude,
What?
I held the sonic screwdriver to the monitor, pressed the button, and you came right back. That's awesome. Oh, and that's on camera. All right. Wee wee's getting a beverage. Wee wee's getting a beverage. Wee wee's getting a beverage. Never more.
Yeah, it's going
Here on Foundry Files, we know how to do math, so we hope you enjoy your week as we spend it learning how to do math, and we'll catch you next week.
Kapla!
Kapla!
Kablah! Nice one, Willie.
Anyway, I'm Wee Wee, and that guy over there dancing insanely or whatever the hell he's doing is Murphy. And we are the Foundry Files. We cover Foundry missions in a very extensive method, or way, whatever you want to call it, depending on what rank. Like, Murphy. Okay.
So we're going to talk about Foundry stuff today, cause talking about the Foundry is what we're supposed to do. Wee Wee doesn't want me to talk about stuff like dilithium, because I talked about dilithium once and I got yelled at, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. I mean, it was mean. It hurt my feelings, and I cried. I went and cried. But yeah, dilithium's economy's down, man. You gotta just buy your Zen and quick. Just keep buying your Zen, people. So the price just keeps, well, using your dilithium, of course, so it keeps going down and stuff, because, you know, economy stuff. I don't know about economy stuff. Economy stuff's crazy, you know. And then when the crazy people start talking about the economy and stuff, they're all like, it's going to the poop chute, and they don't know what's going on. And then you go out back and shoot yourself a gopher pigeon, and then, so I have this pen here. I don't know what it does. I think you click it like this. Oh, okay, that's how you do it. Well, that mystery's solved. Open jacket style.
What the hell was that?
I hear anything.
What? Murph, it's the end of the world.
No, we have an episode to
No.
shoot. What?
No, no!
Hello? He froze again. He always freezes. What a douche. Internet connection problem. Wait a... Oh crap! It's the end of the world.
And onto our cryptic, quick. I actually almost said cryptics there. Cryptics. Right, hang on.
Wow!
And
Sense that he's a cardi. He got a carrot! Yes! 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 Blooper! Yes! It happened again! Oh, yeah! Hello and welcome to Lockbox Files, the entirely 100% devoted to Lockbox podcast.
Stop. We're not doing that today.
Oh, hi, wee wee. I didn't think you were here.
Choose and determine what type of character the captain player is. Get my words right, come on. Whether he's a crazy British guy or an awesome cheese fries and bacon pizza eating guy.
I didn't think he'd catch that. Well, oh, hi. Hey, wee wee! We just got a message from Russell there.
Ooh.
He's a happy episode 20. He made us a meme. That's so cute. He says here, Foundry Files, Murphy and wee wee talking. I'd rather eat dog feces. And that, wee wee, is why Cleons are dumb.
This show is mine! I tell you. Actually, officially mine now. Yeah, so let's cover this, shall we?
Sweet. All right. Before I let we ask you some quick questions here before we get started, I have one very important question that's been bugging me.
Sure.
Do you select the Ask Cryptic questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. Because if you did, I was going to ask you, why the heck did you pick wee wees over mine? But
No, I
I
don't.
guess I'll have to say that for stall.
And I am Wee Wee with an actual functioning headset for once.
Yeah, he's bad on it apparently or something. Actually, it was funny. You showed me like he was like during our last episode or whatever. He was, hey, look at this. He pulls up his cord and it's like ready to snap. Do you still have it?
I actually have it right here, yeah.
Here, show it. He shows me this. It's like it's ready to snap, and 2 days later he goes, my headset
Hang on.
broke. We're not gonna be able to shoot.
Can you see that? Can you see that on my face?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, you understand why I had to get in your headset.
So, don't worry, man. I'm with Foundry Files. Hello, I'm Adam Murphy, and welcome to Foundry Files, the fourth and not only podcast dedicated to Star Trek Online's Foundry. These are my co-hosts, Wee Wee. And that's it.
Is everyone responding? Yeah. Oh, come on.
I almost hit with... Oh!
Ah!
Dude, we almost had him! Freaking Akeev!
Was it one of the plasma explosions that destroyed it?
I don't know. My game, like, stinking timed out. And, let me try to get back in.
Yeah, I'll try getting as well.
What the heck's going on? Alright, I can't get back in.
I'm stuck in the login screen, yeah.
Huh. Go check the website. I'll see if I can get in. What? Neverwinter's Night? What? We can't even play Never...
That's...
Check the... What do they say on the website?
You may want to take a look yourself.
The What? The website? Cryptic! Big thing. I mean, all the time. Oh, what are you doing? He turned his webcam off, and now we have an advertisement. Oh, what an asshole. Wow.
See, this is what you get, people, when you let you host with British people. First of all, they wear the same jacket all the time, and it smells really bad. I mean, oh my god. Then you get like the tea and crumpet thing, where they're like drinking the crumpets and then eating the tea, and you're like. And fish and chips. Don't even get me started on fish and chips. And then all they talk about is Doctor Who. It's a good thing I like Doctor Who because I couldn't tolerate any of that crap. And then they play like that stupid rugby game or whatever, where you like hit the thing with the oh, maybe it's cricket. That's what it is. Cricket. Oh, hi. Welcome back, Wee Wee. I'm gonna start over.
I know where all this goes to my real deep space 11. I'm flopping to the trill in the mirror. I'm staring at this gorgeous spots.
Hold on.
No species could be any harder to make the galaxy a better place.
Okay, there we go. Hi.
Hello and welcome to Lockbox Files, the first and only podcast dedicated to the Lockbox. And no, I did not plagiarize that. I'm Admiral Murphy, and these are my co-hosts.
Maverick, Fleet Leader Jupiter Force.
I'm Kershi. Welcome to Xbox Files.
I'm Amaro. Welcome.
And I'm Ethior.
Mystic One, lifetime crewman.
That's it, I'm done.
Hello, ladies. I'm Admiral Murphy, and that's Wee Wee, and he's really pissed off at Gibbons right now. He'll tell you why.
Because he's standing in the middle of space with a spacesuit and a claw next to an asteroid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What an ass. Yeah. How does it make you feel inside?
Words cannot describe the rage.
Yeah. I feel like a novel's needed for this. And that's an audio test here at Foundry Files.
Yeah, and no purple
We need
drops.
more
What the fuck?
Lockbox.
You know what? This mission is not worth playing. I hate this mission now. We didn't get a single purple drop. This is a pile of crap here.
Is it horrible?
Just horrible. No, did you guys read this story? It's ultimate crap. I mean, the dialogue is terrible. It breaks canon everywhere.
It made me want to tear out my eyes.
Terrible.
And who was this Bobo guy? Nothing was explained about who Bobo was.
Yeah, he just like pops out of nowhere, and it's just like, oh, bark, 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 I'll hit the button.
Hello.
That's currently the state of Romulan mission making. That's about it.
But oh yeah, and if people are noticing, yeah, I got a new setup here, so hopefully it's nicer. So
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think so.
Drop kick well.
Yeah, drop kick well, guys, at the game.
Make sure you put your victim's name on the boot. I have a very specific person on the boot of my dropkick.
Oh, whose name was it? Do you got a picture you might want to show the people as we cut to the credits?
I might be able to fit it in.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Well, bam! Hey, Wee Wee. Hey, Wee Wee, are you busy?
I'm playing Neverwinter, leave me alone.
Oh. Is how long we can go. Okay, here we go. Hello, I'm Admiral Murphy, and this is Foundry Files. We're a podcast that talks about what we talk about? What?
Foundry stuff. That's
Foundry stuff.
Yeah, that's why it's called Foundry Files.
That's twice today I got him to laugh really hard. I'm on a roll. He says I'm not funny. I'm quite funny, ladies. So if you like funny people, you can call me up. If you like funny looking people.
Stop, please. Please just
Blooper.
stop.
No, seriously, funny looking people call
No.
Louie.
No, you are not.
Practice this real quick. Right.
I can't.
Yeah, do that way, do that way, because I'm turning the
After
same
this
way.
one.
We'll do that. Okay, ready? Ready?
Hang on. Well, my cable sort of gets stuck behind the arm.
You heard it here first.
Sure.
Louie's cable gets in the way.
Oh, right, try it now.
It's gonna work. This is gonna be awesome.
Welcome.
Oh, I thought was that official? Oh.
Let's do it that way. Let's do it that way. Let's do it that way, dude. We'll start.
You got
It
pissed.
has to be in the moment.
A what?
It has to be in the moment.
It was in the moment when I said it in chemistry, and the teacher got all pissed. She's like, "Did you even try on the homework?" I go, "I almost attempted to try," and then she got really pissed off. So it was in the moment there.
No, wait, that's a good one.
Retarded. Oh, he turned his video off now. See, this is what I've still put up with a year later. It's just like how we put up with lockboxes still. By the way, if you think about it, it was about a year ago the idea of lockboxes were born. So just put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah, it was.
That was.
Yeah, huh?
It was 2 years ago.
What do you mean 2 years ago? It was episode 1, Lockbox Files was thought of. It's...
Oh, you mean the show, not the actual lockbox itself?
Yeah. The show.
Oh, right.
Lockboxes were
I thought
out
it
long
was-
before that. We were just dumb and didn't think
Yeah,
about...